Hi everyone, my name is Tori. This is Novel Life. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to my November TBR. So I will say the TBR jar is back. We are using her for my November TBR. How am I picking my 11th TBR of the year? How is that possible? Like, I keep saying that, but like I'm in disbelief that we're still at the end of the year. Like, how is this possible? How is it possible? Don't get me wrong, this year has challenged me quite a bit in all aspects, but how are we at the end of the year? That's just crazy to me. Okay, so I'm gonna pick some prompts for my TBR jar. I think for September, I mood read. I didn't really pick anything for my TBR jar. And I think for October, I picked a couple of things. And I really have not been sticking to my TBRs. Honestly, I haven't. I've been mood reading and I've been really loving that. But I also want to make sure that I still pick books for my TBR that I want to read. So I have a couple of goals in mind for my November TBR. I want to pick as many books off my shelves as possible. I do plan to do maybe a read it or unhaul it vlog on my channel in November at some point. I want to work on that, but I'm in the mood for fantasy. I'm in the mood for small town romance. I don't know why. That's just what has been happening since September. That's just the mood I've been in. I don't know. And I'm vibing with that. So, like I said, main goal, picking off my shelves. That's what I'm going to hopefully do. Also, I did post a video, which is my 10 before the end. That's 10 books that I want to read before the end of the year. If I pick a prompt and it matches, fantastic. If it doesn't, I still may read it throughout the month. So before we dive into picking prompts for my TBR jar, I do have 2 reads that I am for sure going to read in November. The first one is my Leave It to the Pros book club that I run with Christy from Christy Reads a Lot. We read a historical fiction book every single month. I've been loving our picks this year. Our picks lately haven't been the best. I will say that. They haven't been the best. They haven't been the most interesting and well-loved books. But I have a feeling that our November pick is going to be a good one. And it is because it is by Kate Quinn. We have previously read 2 books by Kate Quinn, and we've actually really enjoyed her writing. So her historical fiction, I will say, of what I've read, lean a little bit historical mystery. Like historical fiction with a little bit of a mystery. And I'm totally fine with that. Now, this one is The Diamond Eye by Kate Quinn. It's a little bit of an older book, but I am very excited. It takes place during World War II, but it's set in Kyiv in Russia. And it's about, I think, Germany or German soldiers going into Russia and kind of like that part of World War II, which I haven't personally read a lot of books like that. So I'm very excited for this one. So like I said, we will have a live show on Christy's channel towards the end of November. We haven't picked a date yet, but it's on our Instagram. I'll link our Instagram in the description box below if you want to follow us over there. But we will share the live show details all over Instagram when we have a date. But I'm very, very, very excited for this one. I can get the book at my library and get the ebook. I think it's on Kindle Unlimited, which is really cool that they're putting trad books on Kindle Unlimited. So that's the first book I will be reading. Always love my historical fiction pick. My second one is a Patreon butter read. So over on my Patreon, I give them options to kind of like submit books. I compile them into a poll, and then the book that has the most votes after 24 hours is the book we read for our buddy read, and I'm actually very excited. So I put a reread on there for me, which was Blood Over Brighthaven, and I thought this was gonna win, and it was winning for a moment, but the actual winner is The Jasad Heir by Sarah Hashem. So I am super excited about this. This is the first book in a duology, of a fantasy duology. I think it has a romance kind of like subplot, but I'm pretty much gonna go into this book thinking it's gonna be fantasy, because that's kind of how it was pitched to me at first. But when I tell you I am so excited for this, it is about a female character. She's been trying to hide her powers. Sylvia has been trying to hide her powers from anyone. She's basically the last heir of the Jasad kingdom. And when Aaron, I think that's how you pronounce his name, he's the Nizal heir, apparently he sees her use her magic in a like specific instance, and now basically she's at his mercy because she doesn't want him to go back and tell everyone that she's actually the Jasad heir and has powers. So it's something with that, and I'm pretty sure it says it's hate to love. Well, at least it says that. It says, even as hatred shifts into something more between the heirs, a deadly game begins. Oh, he doesn't know that she is the Jasad heir. He just knows that she has powers. So that's part of the secret too. So I'm very excited for this one. I cannot wait. I did buy the ebook when it was on sale for like $1.99 on Amazon. Sometimes they'll put books that are like $1.99, 99 cents or something like that. And if it's a physical book I own that's not on Kindle Unlimited, I will snag it because that's pretty cheap. But my library does have this available. The hold's just pretty long, but I am so I don't know if I'm gonna immersive read this. If you listen to the audiobook, let me know. Other than that, I'll probably just read the ebook, but I'm so excited for this pick. So excited. Very shocked to see this morning when I woke up that this is the one that won our Patreon Buddy Read poll, but not mad at it in the slightest because that is actually one of the books on my 10 before the end. Now is the time to pick some prompts. I hope that the TBR jar gods are good to me because I have not used her in a little bit, so I don't know if they're gonna be mad at me or if they're gonna feel refreshed that I'm using it again. Okay, so like I said, goal number 1, picking books off my shelves. Okay, it's a pink paper. Please again. Okay. Read a new release. Okay, this could actually be a bunch of different books. Let me go compile and I'll come back to you. Okay, technically I have 4 books that could work for this prompt. So I'm glad I have options. Number 1, which is the one I'm really leaning towards because it's a physical book I own, is Dawn of Chaos and Fury by Melissa K. Rourke. So this is the last and final book in the Legacy series. I was planning on reading this in November anyway because it comes out on November 25th. She is a thick one. I do have an e-arc on my Kindle. I would just want to thank Kensington Publishing for being amazing to Melissa. Now she was indie for this Legacy series, and now that she's tried published with them, they have done an amazing job with like hyping this book up in particular, really taking in the people who have like read her in indie and like still giving them an arc and stuff like that. So I'm so glad I got an e-arc, but I was even more excited when I opened up this package. So I'm very, very, very thankful for this. I'm leaning towards this one because I know I have to read it because I have an arc, but I do have this one, which is Blackthorn by J.T. Geisinger. This is a new release that actually comes out on November 4th. I may or may not read this before then. I haven't decided. It's a gothic romance. It's set kind of like Gothicana. That's the vibes that it's pitched as. So I loved Gothicana, but I'm a little nervous for this. So this is also a contender. And then a small town kind of like Scottish romance is Half-Light Harbor by Samantha Young. I was sent this by VPR, Valentine PR, and I know this literally just came out the end of October, so this is a contender. But you know what? I think for new release, I'm gonna do this. This was a book that's on my 10 before the end, so I'm very, very excited for that. Let's pick another one. I always get super nervous. Okay. It says, read a book from 10 before the end, and I'm very, very excited. So actually, I know which one I'm going to pick because I actually forgot that I have to read this at the beginning of November. Please hold. Okay, so this is technically a reread. Technically, okay? But it is Quicksilver by Callie Hart. I have this edition. I also have the trad paperback version with Kingfisher on the cover. Now, I'm reading this because this is on my 10 before the end, but also Brimstone is on my 10 before the end. This one comes out November 18th. I don't have an arc or anything. I just want to read this in November. But over on my Patreon, we're doing a read along with this book. Well, like read along. We're just doing like a buddy read together where we read this and we have a live show because I read this so long ago. I don't remember anything other than loving Kingfisher. I don't remember too much about the world building, and I know that this is more simplistic in the fantasy world, and then book 2, well, the end of this book, I remember it kind of like opens up this whole kind of new world or like more expansive world, and I have a feeling in Brimstone, she's going to touch on that with the magic system and the world, and I just want to make sure that I'm adequately prepared. So I will be rereading this one, and this is on a 10 before the end, but also Brimstone, so technically that's 2 for 1. It's fine. Okay, this is actually like really going well because I was scared that I'd have to pick books. I had no idea. So, well, this is helpful. We'll do this one. Please don't do me dirty. You've been doing so good. Read a new to me author. Okay. Oh, okay, hang on. So I have 2 options for this again. Like I said, I kind of came prepared with like books in my head, and like I have a list of like 20 books in my head that I was like, okay, I can pull from this if I need to for this video. Okay, the first one is one that I physically have on my shelf. It is Please Don't Go by E. Salvador. So this one I actually got physically for my birthday. A friend gifted this to me. Thank you, Monica. But I have had this on my Kindle because it's in Kindle Unlimited since it came out. I know a lot of people, specifically Caitlin from the Love Librarian on Instagram, she sings the highest praises of this book. And I know the mental health rep is going to be amazing here. Like, this could be a contender for my favorite book of the year. So I started reading the first chapter and it was really heavy, but I'm getting like, the more I talk about this book, the more I'm like, okay, I think I'm ready for this now. I'm okay to read this. I'm in a good mental headspace. So I think I'm going to lean more towards this one because I physically have it on my shelf. Now, another new to me author is, oh my God, Stephen silver cloak, this photo. This is also on my 10 before the end, but I don't have a physical copy of it. I have the ebook hold at my library and the audiobook hold, and it's about 2 to 3 weeks away. So it could go on my November TBR, it could go on my December TBR. It depends on when the holds come in, but I don't physically have that. So I think I'm going to go with this one just because I physically have this one for new to me author. But those are two new to me authors I'm very excited for. I've heard just the highest things, the best things about both of those books. So like I said, I've come prepared, okay? Okay, we've chose 3. I might do 3 more, depending on how these two go. Another pink one. I think this is a long prompt. I saw a lot of writing. Okay, a book with a foreign MC, Russian, Irish, or Scottish, etc. You guys come with some of the literal best prompts, and I know exactly the one I'm going to read for this because I already pulled it off my shelves and I am very excited. Half-Light Harbor by Samantha Young. I actually got the audiobook because it just came out and I love her audiobooks. And this one has a Scottish MC. So I literally just saw like my friends read it. Jess and Christy read this and they loved it. It comes with like some beautiful artwork with like a little, oh my god, a dog. But I want to start this because it is a first in a brand new series by her. She always does like Scotland stuff because I think she lives in Scotland or she's from there. I could be mistaken. But our female character, she goes to Scotland looking for answers about her past. And there she gets trapped on a private island with a stoic, brooding, gorgeous contractor. Ramsay McCrae is a man with secrets. He prefers the company of his dog to people and silence to any semblance of politeness. Dogs over people any day. Okay. Only he doesn't know the truth that I'm haunted by a crime that tore my life apart 2 years ago. I've come to Half-Light Harbor not just to start over, but to bring the monster who killed my parents to justice. I'm so excited. I have the highest hopes for this book. I'm so excited. Oh my gosh. The TBR jar gods are blessing me today, okay? Like, low-key, they're blessing me. Okay, we'll do 1 more. Maybe 2 to make it even 6. Okay, we'll do this one. Are we ready? Pick a book with a 4-word title. Ooh, these always get me. 1 sec. Gotta think about it. Gotta think about her. You know what? I'm actually going to look on my Kindle. Okay, I have two options for this, and I'm a little nervous, and I don't know which one I'm gonna pick. Okay, so book with the 4-word title. I have 2. It's My Dark Ever After by Gianna Darling. I actually had an arc of this, and I never got to it before release day. But I do love Gianna so much. And this is her 2nd book in a duology. That's being like trad published with Montlake. So I do have the audiobook. So I probably could get to it. This is like mafia. She's like a good girl. He's like the head of the mafia type thing in Italy. And the first book, she goes to Italy not knowing who she is, not knowing who he is, and he like stays. She stays with him for a time. So that's that one. Or I have On Wings of Blood by Briar Boleyn. But I have that one on my shelf. But I have a lot of fantasy on my shelf. I have like the Melissa K work. So I think I'm gonna go with My Dark Ever After. I think that's a good one to go with because while it's not on my shelves, I definitely still want to read it. And I have the audiobook for it. So that one is gonna be that one. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do we pick one more? I think I'm gonna leave it at 5 because that one is, I feel really good about that TBR. I don't want to jinx it, so I'm going to go through them really quickly. Might leave it to the Pros Book Club that I run with Christy. We read historical fiction. We're reading The Diamond Eye by Kate Quinn. Historical fiction, more mystery, set in Kyiv during World War II. Very, very, very excited for that one. My Patreon buddy read, Just Thought Air by Sarah Hashim. So excited for this. First book in a duology, fantasy, maybe with a romance subplot. She's hiding her powers and that she's the heir. I'm all here for it. I'm very, very, very excited for that one. Scottish hero or foreign MC to me is Half-Light Harbor by Samantha Young. He's Scottish. She goes to Scotland running from something that happened. Very excited for that one. New to me author, Please Don't Go, E. Salvador. Very excited for this one. Oh, I forgot to mention sports romance. He plays baseball, which is not really baseball season, but I feel like I could read baseball any time of the year. Picking a book that is on my 10 before the end. Actually, I technically have 6 books because I picked 2 for this prompt. Quicksilver and then Brimstone. Rereading Quicksilver because I don't remember anything. and then Brimstone when it comes out on the 18th. I want to read that one ASAP because a lot of people, because it's such a hype book and Callie Hart got so popular with Quicksilver, I don't want anyone to spoil the book for me, so that's why I want to read it ASAP. And then what was this one? Oh, a new release, that was it. Dawn of Chaos and Fury by Melissa K. Rorick. This is a chunky boy. This comes out November 25th, so that is my stack. I'm very excited. Look at the stack. Look at it, guys. Look at the stack, guys. It's so perfect. It's so good. Anyway, that is all I have for this November TBR. If you've made it this far and you want to let me know, leave me a yellow heart emoji in the comments down below, because I have the Jasad Air that has gold yellow, and then I have the sports romance in yellow. So thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe for more content from me. As always, I hope you're living a novel life, and I will see you in my next one. Bye, guys.